So tonight's Monday Night Raw was the first Raw after Crown Jewel, and a lot of things did happen. Not many, but a lot of things did happen. First of all, we finally got the answer to who was going to basically be the Rhea solution for the OC, and it was indeed one of the names a lot of people predicted would be, and that of course was Mia Yim. Everybody thought, okay, would it be Charlotte, Raquel Rodriguez, would it be this person or that person? And no, it turned out to be Mia Yim. And to me, Mia does kind of fit that OC vibe. I mean, I could have seen her, as a member of the Bullet Club in Japan, had she had the opportunity. I could have seen her as part of that group. And her being the HIBC, fits in tone with what the OC is about. So, yeah, her and Rhea, I think, is going to be a good little program. But also, they started teasing the eventual encounter between Rhea and Bianca. Now, what I do see potentially happening is we could probably end up getting a three-way dance, a triple threat between these four women, maybe even a fatal four-way if you add Bayley into the equation. So that's something to look forward to, either a triple threat or a fatal four-way, for the Raw Women's Championship in the near future. We also did get our first War Games match announced, and right now, Damage Control, along with Nikki Cross, have only one slot remaining to be filled. Well, Team Bianca has 2 slots to be filled. Who that'll be filled with, we do not know. It could be Sasha and Naomi. A lot of people are predicting that. Could be Candice LeRae, but I think a lot of people are saying Candice is going to probably join Damage Control, but we'll see what happens. We shall see what happens. Now, with that said, though, some other things did happen tonight. One, history was actually kind of made. History was made as for the first time in the history of Money in the Bank, the winner did cash in, but they didn't cash in on the World Championship, the Undisputed Championship. Nope. Instead, they decided, let's have the winner, which was Austin Theory, cash in on the United States Championship. That's right. They decided to go a route that I think a lot of people have always been speculating on. And that route, or that speculation was, is Money in the Bank only limited to the World Championship? Could it be cashed in on any other championship? And tonight, to me, they kind of set the tone that yes, it can be cashed in on other championships. So you don't have to just, rely on the fact or guess when and where, the Money in the Bank winner is going to cash in on the world champ. Now you have to wonder what champion is going to be cashed in on. Now some might say, well, not say, but some might ask the question, why? Why did they do this? Well, I think basically because they had several options, in front of them. One option reported by JD and other outlets is they were going to actually wait a whole year. Yeah, they were going to actually wait until the next Money in the Bank event, if there is one, for Theory to cash in. Basically have him wait until almost the last moment to cash in and become champion. But apparently they decided against that because I think they're realizing or kind of wondering, okay, that's a good idea, but would fans have the patience for it? And what would happen if, Theory gets injured? Then what? So they probably figured, okay, this sounds good and everything. Hold on for a sec. Sorry, but like I said, they probably figured that the idea to have him hold it until Money in the Bank next year, the next Money in the Bank event or match next year, it may have sounded like and seemed like a good idea, but in the end, they probably also realized that maybe fans are not going to be that tolerant of it for that long. Like, it's like how impatient are fans going to get for this guy to just cash in and fail, which pretty much I think behind the scenes they knew was inevitably going to happen, no matter how you look at it. That it was inevitably going to occur, even if they decided to say, hey, let's have him cash in on Roman Reigns and try to become champion. They knew it wasn't going to happen. So again, they had the option of, let's see if maybe we can have it be waited out until next year's Money in the Bank match or event, and have him do it then, or at least almost to the year that he wanted, and have him do it then, or come up with an alternate solution. A solution that, again, does kind of answer that speculated question fans had. Is Money in the Bank just limited to the world title? And apparently it's not. It is not limited to the world title. And what this does, honestly, is it opens up a lot of doors. It opens up a lot of doors for the Money in the Bank winner, because what it does is it makes all the championships, in WWE, men's and women's, more, not just eligible, but have more importance to them. I mean, think about it. Next year, when they do the Money in the Bank matchups, whether it's on its own event or at WrestleMania, one on each night, imagine if someone like, let's say someone like Io Sky, right? Io Sky, right? Let's say Io Sky, or Io Shirai. Let's say she wins the women's Money in the Bank. But right now she's in a faction. She's in a tag team with Dakota Kai. So you wonder to yourself, okay, would Io Sky cash in on either the Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion? She might do that. Or even the NXT Women's Champion. She might do that. But then again, could she cash in on a tag team title and get her and Dakota if they lose the belts? And I'm pretty sure they'll probably lose the belts in between now and then. But could she cash in on the women's tag team titles and get her and Dakota, or her and Bayley, or even a partner of her choice, a shot at being tag team champions? That's how much of a, people may want to undersell this. That's how much of a game changer this is for the Money in the Bank concept. Because now it's not just limited to the, world titles of both the men and the women. Now it can be utilized, for any championship, honestly. It can be utilized on any championship, cashed in on any championship, basically. And I think that's a good move. I think that is a tremendous move for them to do. Because again, it brings actual prestige and importance, as crazy as that sounds, to these titles, because you don't know, which title is going to get cashed in on. I mean, you may think by default, the undisputed title, the World WWE Championship, Universal Championship, by default would be the ones cashed in on. But then again, it could be the other titles. It could be, the Intercontinental title. It could be the U.S. title. It could be the tag titles. Heck, it could be any of the NXT titles, for all you know. And to me, this is a good move. This is a good move because you're realizing your fan base nowadays isn't as patient as they used to be. I mean, they offer some events, some matches and all that, but not all of them. Not all of them. And again, this decision, this change, whether it was a Triple H decision, whether it was a collaborative decision between Triple H, Bruce Pritchard, and somebody else, I think it's a good move. I really do. I think it's an absolutely good move, on their part. And like I said, it opens the door for many other possibilities in the future. It really does. Now, the other thing that was noted about tonight's Raw was the crowd. The crowd was basically dead for it. Got up a little bit for some things, but mostly dead. And that seems that seems lately to be a problem, depending on whether you have a show booked to take place at, whether it's a Raw or a SmackDown. And I think, honestly, this is my opinion, I think the reason the crowd, and it seems mostly to be a Monday Night Raw deal, there's some issues, some of the similar issue with the SmackDown crowds at times, but it mostly seems like it's a Monday Night Raw deal. I think what it is that, USA wants 3 hours of Raw. So WWE has to put on 3 hours of Raw. And then you have an audience that right now is not in, a mode that normally a mode that you would expect them to be in. Mainly due to the fact that it's not summer anymore. Nobody is off. Basically, nobody's really off on a vacation or anything. Basically, things are more settled down. And on top of that, you also have to look at the fact that this is the second day of going back to standard time. Yes, it's the last time we're going to be doing standard time, but it's the second day. And people are still adjusting. Hold on for a sec. Like I said, people are still adjusting. The clocks haven't really fully adjusted to the change. Thankfully, it's the last time they're going to have to do that. But again, it hasn't fully adjusted to the change. So that, and I'm not trying to make an excuse, but that could be the equivalent to why the crowd was so dead. The bodies still haven't, changed, with the time change. It's still, they haven't adjusted. I also think the fact that, again, it's a 3-hour Raw, and it's on a Monday night. And you got Monday Night Football, of course, but also you have kids that had a long day at school attending the show. You have parents who probably went to work attending the show, and you probably had families that are attending the show that traveled many, many miles to see it live, that are probably dead tired. And the energy isn't up to snuff where it should be. And then, like I said, you add onto the fact that it's the second day of falling back, with our time, and that becomes an issue. Also, it might be the fact that, again, there could be other factors. One factor I thought is maybe they're just not happy with WWE having to coming back from working a show in Saudi Arabia. And that's always going to be an issue with anybody. And maybe being a little quiet is their way of saying, hey, we're not going to, praise you or be excited for you because of the fact that you guys recently were over in Saudi and we didn't like that. So that might be an issue too. But hopefully Monday Night Raw can address this just like SmackDown has been trying to address it better. And hopefully with the TV rights deals coming up, they could talk USA into bringing Raw back just to 2 hours, because that's going to be more acceptable and more watchable, and for folks at home, for fans and folks at home, as well as attendance-wise for people live in the live for the event. But yeah, a lot of things have happened apparently tonight on the post-Crown Jewel edition of Raw. Noteworthy things. Oh, Nikki Cross, she won the 24/7 title, but then she dumped it in the trash. She just casually dumped it, missed the trash can, but she casually dumped it, and that was it. So, yeah, I guess the 24/7 title is done, or is it? Because there is speculation that Dana Brooke, the one she won it from, wants to transition it into an Intercontinental Championship, for the women or something like that. But we'll see. But yeah, that's about what's going on the post-Crown Jewel edition of Raw, from what I've read on Twitter and seen through YouTube clips and everything. Let me know what your thoughts are. Comment below. And until next time, guys, I will talk to you all later.